This is the AIScan 01, a handheld 3D scanner that's trying to make 3D scanning at home more feasible and less annoying. It has its own screen, onboard scan controls, near and far scanning modes, texture capturing, marker tracking, point cloud fusion mesh generation, and it's even 3DGS capable. On paper, this scanner is pretty good, but it doesn't matter how many features you pack into your little scanner if it's not something you want to use. Now, I've used a few 3D scanners. The one I obviously remember the most is the Creality CR Scan 01, and it's not a good thing that I remember that one. One issue with the Creality CR Scan 01 was that it had to be plugged into a PC at all times for it to be able to work, which is fine. It can work that way. By far the biggest issue I had with the Creality CR Scan 01 was its tracking. It lost tracking a lot, and by a lot I mean every time I'd use it, it basically was unusable. Now, to be fair, it's been quite some time since I used the Creality CR Scan 01, and it's since been superseded by other models that I'm sure are much better, but man, that CR Scan 01, I will never forget that thing. Never. And I also have some experience with commercial grade 3D scanners, the very expensive ones. I've had some vendors come into my work, my day job, and kind of demo their units to try to get us to buy them. And they do a much better job, but those scanners have a price tag that reflects that. That being said, even with those high-end tens of thousands of dollars 3D scanners, the 3D model that they generate is probably not what you're picturing in your head. It's not a perfect CAD model. 3D scanners are not easy mode 3D model generators. 3D scanners can only capture what they see, so anything reflective, dark, transparent, hidden, poorly lit can cause missing detail or just messy geometry. Better scanners normally get you a lot closer, but cleanup is always kind of still part of the process. And this is a very important thing to understand. When I was first getting into 3D scanning, I mean, forever ago at this point, I had this thing in my mind where I was like, well, you just like take a picture of the thing and then you get a model of the thing and everybody's happy. And if that is what you're thinking going into buying a 3D scanner, that you're just gonna be able to just scan things in the world and just be able to print them out immediately or just have perfect CAD models for them, you're gonna be generationally disappointed. Now, the biggest reason I like the AIScan 01 is because it's fully self-contained. This is all you need to scan something. As long as it's charged, you can scan stuff. Now, in fairness, it does eat battery, but I never ran into a situation where I was scanning something and I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get this scan done before the battery dies. And worst case scenario, if you're scanning and your battery's running low or you did forget to charge it, you can always plug it into a wall and still continue scanning, which is very nice. Hardware-wise, the AIScan 01 has an 8-core processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and 512 gigabytes of internal storage. Now, the one thing I did find very strange is that all the marketing material online, everything likes to say 8-core processor, but none of those things mention anywhere what kind of 8-core processor it is. They just say 8 cores. Even on the scanner itself, if you go to the About page, it shows the RAM quantity, it shows the internal storage, but it doesn't make mention of the processor at all. It doesn't say what brand it is, what number it is, or it doesn't even say 8-core. It doesn't even say anything about it at all. Now, after doing a little bit of research, I did assume that the processor used in this scanner itself was the Rockchip 3588, and that was later confirmed. Now, I don't know much about this specific chip. I don't know if it's a good chip, a bad chip, or whatnot. Everything seemed to work just fine. I didn't have any crazy lag issues. This is a 7-inch 2K AMOLED screen, and it seemed snappy enough. It was not like super high-end smartphone snappy, but it did what it needed to do, and I didn't run into any issues with it. The AIScan 01 has a dual depth camera system set up for both near and far field scanning. Near is for smaller items and gets you higher detail. Think of this like tape measure on a turntable. And then far field is for larger objects. Think like a car panel, a wall, something a lot bigger. There's also a 48 megapixel RGB camera for color texture capture and then visual tracking assist. Then you got the blue MEMS structured light projector. This is a phase shifting projector, and it projects a coded blue light pattern onto the target surface. When that pattern deforms across the shape of an object, that camera is able to capture those changes, and from that deformation, the system can then calculate the 3D geometry of the part you're scanning. On top of that, you have 8 blue fill lights, 4 for the near field and 4 for the far field scanning, and then you also have the 2 white fill lights that can be toggled on and off, and those give you basically illumination on your part for your RGB texture camera to be able to see it a lot better. Now, the micro electrical mechanical system is what really kind of sets this scanner apart from others like it. This is a blue structured light projector, like we talked about. Most 3D scanners use infrared structured light rather than blue. Both have their pros and cons, but blue light, especially around this 450 nanometer wavelength, can capture much finer detail just due to that shorter wavelength. Now, one downside of blue structured light versus infrared is that you can see blue light where you can't see infrared, and when this thing is on and working, it's a lot of flashing blue and white lights. This thing is like a photosensitive epilepsy cannon. It doesn't bother me much, but when I was like upstairs just testing it around, scanning stuff in the kitchen, my wife was not a fan. Another feature that sets this scanner apart from others like it is its 3D GS scan mode. There's a few different scan modes within this. You get normal or standard 3D GS, you got dark, you got stuff for shiny material, but the 3D GS is kind of the oddball that makes this thing a little different. Normally, 3D scanners use that structured light we talked about, either blue or infrared, to generate a point cloud. That point cloud is then converted into a mesh made up of polygons, and from that mesh you get a surface. And then that meshed surface can be used to generate a solid model. Now, the issue in doing this is that in between those steps, some of that detail gets lost because in order to make that mesh, the scanner must approximate all of those points into a flat surface. 3D GS skips those traditional mesh steps. Instead of building polygons, it keeps that data as a dense set of points with color and volume and then renders it directly. The benefit is that you preserve more of the original detail from the scan itself. However, there is one big caveat with this feature in this scanner. You need an internet connection. Yeah. Now that leads me to believe, obviously, that there's no processing going on inside the scanner. That 8 core is not doing any legwork with that 3D GS file. Essentially, the scanner is taking a bunch of pictures in your video. That data is just going to the cloud somewhere to some server where it is computated and compressed and analyzed and then shot back to your scanner. And that's an important thing to know, especially if you're using this to scan sensitive parts or anything proprietary. You got to know that what you're scanning on that, using that 3D GS feature, it's not staying in the scanner. Those images are going somewhere. Now, I did try out the 3D GS function. I essentially just went out to the driveway after I washed my car, put it in some nice harsh sunlight on the driveway, and then just did a 3D GS scan around it, just one loop, just to see how well it did. And I was pretty impressed. It was able to generate the whole car. It got rid of the driveway and all the background. It was really nice. Just the car was left. Did have some weird artifacting on the roof where you got a lot of reflections green from the trees. But other than that, I was pretty impressed with how good of a model it generated with just one loop around the car. Tracking is the thing I am most happy with, given my experience with that Creality scanner. This thing does a phenomenal job. It's not perfect, but it's definitely light years ahead of that Creality CR-Scan 01. And if the AIScan 01 does lose tracking, it's pretty easy for it to reacquire the target after you just kind of move it back to where it was when it lost it, which I really did like. In the scanner itself, you get 3 different alignment modes, which is also good. You can pick which one works best for whatever you're trying to scan. Geo-align, which is best used for mechanical parts or objects with strong shape detail. Things with edges, holes, ribs, grooves, anything with a unique geometrical feature. Geo and texture align, which is best for objects with good visual surface details but weaker shapes and features. Think of things like 3D printed objects, painted parts, clothing, artwork, just textured surfaces, stuff like that. And then the last one is marker align, which is really good for just smooth, repeating, shiny object. Think repetitive stuff like cups and balls, and this remote control that I scanned, and it worked very well. Normally, by far, my favorite is the marker one, just because a lot of the things I scan, like this remote or something like a smooth part, will have very symmetrical, non-unique features, and these are very notorious for the scanner to just kind of lose orientation. But when you pop all these little markers on it, and you can get these markers on Amazon in a big pack, they're super cheap, tons of different sizes, the scanner will just lock right into those and be able to figure out exactly how it's oriented, no matter how you move it. Another big thing that I liked about the AIScan 01 is that it does allow you to do some file manipulation on the scanner itself, which does kind of compress that workflow. So scanning to finished model is much easier with something like this. Previous scanners that I've used, kind of what you scan is kind of the mesh you're going to get. Even some of the demo units, you scan something and they throw it a mesh, and it's kind of your job to take it into another software kind of remove some of the artifacts and smooth out stuff. You still have to do some post-processing on this, but it's much easier. You can scan an object, you can look at the point cloud, and you can just straight up highlight and delete features you know you don't want. Say you got the table, you know you don't want the table, you got some weird object on the side that was an accident you didn't mean to scan. You can just select that and get rid of it before you mesh it, and then it's just a lot easier to deal with once you get into another software. Price is the thing that everybody really wants to know, though. Let's be honest. The AIScan 01 hasn't officially been released yet. I do have one. It is a functional unit. The software does seem to work. But from what I can see, when it does release, it should retail for around $2,200 US, which isn't cheap, but I do think it's reasonable. At this price point, there really aren't many options out there that have the same combination of features in this form factor that are kind of cheaper than this. This is the closest thing that I could find in comparison was the Revopoint Miraco Plus. And that scanner also retails for around the same $2,200 US. And these two scanners are actually pretty close on paper. Price is basically the same if this does release at $2,200. The design, how they look and seem to function, looks pretty similar. I've never used the Revopoint, but it almost looks somewhat like this. They both offer that standalone scanning workflow, but where they do diverge when you look at the details is the type of structured light that each scanner uses. Like we talked about, the AIScan 01 uses that blue structured light, whereas the Revopoint opts for infrared. All things considered, I really do think the AIScan 01 is a pretty powerful tool. And the first thing that came to mind when I started using this thing was I thought back to this project. Remember the Tiny Tad that we did forever ago? The original idea for this project was to use the CRScan 01 to scan this to create a fishing bait that I could take out fishing and catch a fish with it. They don't make Tiny Tads anymore. My dad had one. He thought, hey, could you 3D scan it? I said, yeah, probably. And I misspoke on that one because the CRScan 01 could not scan this in any way that was usable. And if I would have had something like this back when I tried to make this, I would have been a lot happier. So yes, $2,200 isn't cheap, but in the world of 3D scannings, this is actually priced more on the affordable side. And based on the features and the performance that I have gotten out of this thing, it has really worked surprisingly well. Honestly, if I was out there looking to buy a 3D scanner, the biggest hesitation I would have in picking this one up is that it's just a new brand to the market. It doesn't have the track record of something like the Revopoint. But the AIScan 01, based on what I've experienced using it, is coming in pretty strong. And if it does actually launch at that $2,200 price tag, this could end up being the Bamboo Lab of 3D scanning.